Hey YouTube, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Roman, and yes, we are back. We are back with the Vlogmas, and we are back with the 24 days of Christmas. And now I know I've been missing in action. There are several days that I missed, but today, right now, I'm gonna make up. I'm gonna do day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. I might hold off on day 6 because that's the decorating day. I might do that another day, but day 7 and day 8. So I'm gonna try to get us all the way up to day 8 in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so day 3 of Vlogmas is the best Christmas gift ever. And as usual, I don't just have one best Christmas gift. I have a number of gifts that I just truly have been fond over the last, 10 years, and I've kept them and they mean so much to me. So let me just share some of these things with you. So the first one, of course, I'm going to share with you are books. So one of the first books I received as a Christmas gift came from an administrator when I was in college. Not one of the first books, but one of the books that I appreciated the most as a Christmas gift was when I was in undergrad. And this administrator, Dr. Westbrooks, I really felt like she was grooming me at a time to take on leadership roles across campus. But whatever the case may be, she gave me this book, and it's called Difficult Conversations, and it's an amazing book. I've read this book at least 30 to 40 times, over and over again. I actually reference it for certain things, but it talks about, how to deal with important matters, how to discuss things that you need to talk about, how to deal with negative tones and conversations, how to deal with opposing views with your boss, your spouse, your friends, your clients, your kids, anyone. And it's also been a great tool for me throughout the years in my professional career. Right now I'm re-reviewing the part where it's talking about preparing for their response once you are having an engaging conversation with someone and they're having an opposing view, but you need to move them to your point. How do you prepare for their response? So I'm looking at that in this book. I suggest you go and get it. It's not that expensive. It was only $15 at the time it was gifted to me. Second book came from my first male mentor that I ever had. Mr. Harnett, he was truly somebody important in my life. For my first male step coach, he put us through, it's called the rites of passage, a boy's rites of passage, a man's rites of passage, and it's a ritual that is used in a lot of different African tribes and cultures to bring a boy from being a boy to a man. And a lot of guys, my name when I went through it was Ato Kokai, which means I call people and they listen, or I speak to a crowd and they'll listen. And so that was my name that was given to me when I went through the rites of passage. And it was a great experience. I mean, we couldn't wear, 6th and 7th grade at the time, and we couldn't wear labels. We couldn't have frivolous conversation. It was almost like we were pledging in middle school, and we were part of the step team. So if you wanted to be on the step team, you had to go through this. And I mean, there were people on the step team who couldn't do this, and so they were always looked differently. But when you went through this, you just was like, you felt like you did it. Did you go through it? Yeah, I did it. And it was difficult. There was times where my teachers would call my step coach and say, because he was a teacher too, and tell snitch on me and stuff like that, and he would, but it was what it was. I went through and I got through it. But he got me this book as a gift for one Christmas, and it's been so influential throughout my life. But it's the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. This book here is just, it's almost a must-have if you are in politics, if you have a product that you're selling, if you are trying to upgrade or move up the chain of command in your workplace or in your life, this book teaches you strategic ways of how to deal with certain things, how to deal with people, and really how to stick to a bunch of guiding principles. And it's your choice whether you want to do it or not. I think I was reading this the other day, and the one that I'm on now is use the surrender tactic, transform weakness into power. And basically, it's when you are weaker, never fight for honor's sake. Choose surrender instead. Surrender gives you time to recover, time to torment and irritate your conqueror, time to wait for his power to wane. Do not give him the satisfaction of fighting and defeating you. Surrender first. By turning the other cheek, you infuriate and unsettle him. Make surrender a tool of power. And that makes so much sense. Why fight someone who's way stronger, way better than you? Just tell them you got it. And in the process of doing that, you now have the upper hand to be a fucking asshole. You already told them you win. So why would they care about anything that you're doing thereafter? I'm telling you, this book is amazing. I suggest anybody go and check out this book. And it was only $18 at the time that I got it. So yeah. And it's so crazy because I haven't spoken to my mentor, Mr. Hunter, in so long. And when I moved to this area that I'm in now, he's here in this area. It's just that we've never connected. So I'm gonna try to reach out to him in 2022 and just let him know I still got this and how influential he's been on me in my life. All right, next gift. So one of my first jobs outside of when I got out of college, I was working there for about a year before I decided to go somewhere else because I just started learning what I didn't know and I just started moving. And there was this lady, I think her name, oh, I don't want to get it wrong, but I think her name was Jackie. She was the sweetest lady. She was a custodial. She janitorial services. And she was so sweet. She, and I was like the only sort of black male that worked in this department with this kind of stuff. Now we had other black individuals working in the organization. And so she would come, she would talk to me, she would, give me the ins and the outs and stuff like this. And so there was a point where I started feeling a little bit unappreciated, and she noticed that, and so, when I was leaving, it was around Christmas time. I literally didn't get I didn't receive like a going away party or anything like that because I was leaving on good terms, but I was moving back home to New York because my uncle, my father, he had experienced, some issues with his heart, and I was really, that really took a toll on me because I didn't spend a lot of time with him. So I was going back home, so I was quitting my job for that, really. And do you know, the last day I felt so bad because nobody did nothing. Nobody really was saying bye. It was just like, all right, leave. And so it was that Tuesday in the 8th hour. I think it was like 4:30. She comes walking upstairs with this thing wrapped with a bow on it. And she was rushed. She was like, oh, I didn't know if I was missing you. They had me over in the other building. And I'm like, no, what's going on? And she was like, I want to give you this. It ain't much, but I put it together because I just really, really appreciate you. And I saw how you've grown in this organization. And I was like, oh, what is it? And so I didn't even know she did this. We had got some dollars to put up some fencing around some of the agricultural crops that the students were partaking, and it was a celebratory moment. So I was over there helping them, sort of decorate the fence, and it was a media moment. And she was snapping photos, and I remember her snapping photos, and I didn't know why. I'm like, why is she snapping her photos? But I said, okay, whatever. And I'm just sitting there. This is when I worked at the Gary Comer Youth Center in Chicago, in the development department. And she's just snapping pictures, and I'm just like, oh my God, what are you doing? And she gave me this, and this is the first time at my first job I ever felt like I mattered. Like somebody saw the work that I was doing, and even if nobody else watched it, she saw me and it mattered. And that's why to this day, whenever I go work at organizations and stuff like that, I always pay attention to everyone, from the person who's holding the door to the person who's getting the trash to the person who's doing security detail, because those are the people that are watching you. Those are the people who are probably paying more attention to you and the things that you're doing that you don't even know. And that warmed my heart. So whenever I see, I have it hanging on my wall, but whenever I see this, it just makes me feel like you do matter. Like, even if your manager ain't watching, somebody's watching you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And when I go to Chicago, I'm gonna go back to the GCYC. I hope she's still there. It's been like 10 years now. But I really appreciate it. She don't know what this did for me. So that was another favorite gift of mine. And then, okay, so this last gift, I was dating a guy when I went. So after that, went back home to Rochester. And so when I was in Rochester, I was dating this guy, very young. So he was much younger than me. Didn't, just two different backgrounds, really, Jonathan. And I know he watches. So yeah, Jonathan, I'm talking about you now. But we were on two different paths. He was very head over heels for him some Roman. And I just think I was very much so like, oh, this is nice, this is cute. I think I wasn't as head over heels for him as he was for me, and for a lot of different reasons. But it was cool while it lasted. But during that Christmas of us like being together, I'm at my family's house or whatever. Now, mind you, just to lay the law of the land, he doesn't really have a lot. He was living with some family, and that situation was a big deal. He had a job that he enjoyed, and he was trying to work himself up at the job. So he was just, trying to pay rent, doing the things that he could do. He wasn't like no high roller. He wasn't, like me at that time. And it was cool because I like down to earth, regular, guys. I don't like, that to me, I need that ounce of reality. I don't need that, you think, so, and I didn't get him anything for Christmas, and I wasn't expecting him to get me anything for Christmas because, I just understood that maybe we just kick it with each other or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I just didn't assume that he didn't have anything and I wasn't gonna get you nothing. I just came to Rochester literally. So he asked me where I was. I was like, I'm at my cousin's house. He was like, all right, I'm about to pull up. I'm like, okay. So he came and he's like, I got you something. And I'm like, what is it? So he had this painting done for me, this little piece of artwork done for me, and I thought it was so cute because it I'm gonna cover up my real name, but it shows the divide in my character, and it was so funny that he was able to see that. Hold on, I gotta do this the right way. Hold on 1 second. Here, like that. All right. So it's like my real name versus Roman. And I thought it was so neat. And if you could see the picture that I took that Christmas, so I thought it was so cute. Nobody ever had really paid this much attention to me to realize that even with the Roman, it's in green for money. And then this one, let me see if I can just show the last letter. It's yellow, black and gold. I'm a alpha male, and it just shows the design. One is cold, cooler. One is hotter. Roman, he's a much more hot individual. This person over here is much more professional, and he did like a versus. So it was like a big story. When he gave it to me, he explained this to me, and I was just sitting there like, damn, nigga, you. A, you're corny, but B, you've been watching me because I wasn't expecting it. So it put a smile on my face, and to this day I still got it. Whether we're cool or not, we okay. I mean, I won't be mad if he texts me or something like that, but we alright. I ain't putting that past that. Jonathan, you know how I feel about you. It is what it is. And then the last gift, I wasn't even gonna mention this, but I am, was when I went to undergrad. I told you all the story a long time ago about how I met, the general counsel for the university that I went to because I was going to file a complaint on another administrator because they wasn't letting me do what I wanted to do. And I met him, and he was just really intrigued by my personality at that age. This was 2005. He picked up the phone as the attorney for the university and was calling people like, you need to do this for him. This needs to happen. If you don't, this needs to happen. And I walked out of there feeling empowered. Like, I was looking at people like, say something to me. I call X, Y, and Z. And so that Christmas of that year, because I met him in September with all my grievances. And so from there, I had my birthday in October. So from there, we had, um, spent an amount of time getting to know him. And so he had got me a Christmas gift. And now, mind you, I'm just lay the law of the land. I just came from Rochester from high school. So I'm about 17. I'm thinking the little stuff that I had, I'm thinking I'm popping and stuff like that. No, no, no. So he gets me a cell phone for Christmas. Now, in 2005, I had a Virgin Mobile flip phone. I thought I was doing something, my little Virgin Mobile flip phone and stuff like that. So he gets me this phone. It's the HTC, it was at the time one of these devices. And baby, I thought I was the SHIT. I remember like sliding it up, texting him, and then how the email and stuff. This is the first time I ever had like one of them high tech phones. And then after this, he got me a BlackBerry phone. And then from there, I just started getting my own self iPhone phones. But he was the first person to really upgrade my life in a lot of different ways. But this device was definitely that first device that he did for me. So thank you. Are we still cool or not? Is still to be determined. Is there going to be another day tomorrow? Yes. So we don't know. So those were some of my best Christmas gifts, by far. At this age of me remembering, things that really, really mean something to me. So let's move on to day 4, Christmas wish list. So on my Christmas wish list, there are a couple of things. One, a new car. So I don't know if I'm going to be getting a new car like before Christmas or after Christmas, but a new car is going to be my Christmas gift to myself. The two things that I'm juggling right now is my license is in New York State and I live in another state and I want to get a car in the other state. And I want to get the car registered in the other state. So I've got to try to get my license in the other state, switch that out. So I want to take care of all of that first and then get a car. Then secondly, I don't kind of know what I want, but I do know since, the car that I'm in now is paid off. I've been saving up the money from making the car payments on that towards a new car. And I know that, I'm in between. I think I want an SUV. Because I do like road trips and I like traveling between here and back home. So I think I want an SUV, but that's gonna be my Christmas gift to myself. My Christmas gift that I'm putting out into the environment, boo thing, and you already know, so this ain't nothing to you, is I want the two-tone choker, the one that Future keeps talking about and mentions. You can find it at Neiman Marcus, or you can find it at, what is it, K's. But I want the two-tone choker. It's literally like one side is one color and the other side is a different color. And then I want to get my Roman nameplate to go on the choker. Yeah, so if you get it from Neiman Marcus, it's $267. If you go to K's Jewelers, it's like $2,500. So I threw it out there. I'm not trying to drain nobody's pocket. Do what you can, but yeah, that's what I want. I also want an all white men's peacoat. So I saw one on Goat for like $595, but I definitely want an all white peacoat. And the thing is that, yeah, there's a lot of different all white peacoats, but I want one that doesn't have black buttons. I want all white buttons. And I want a high collar because I love to pop my collar up. So I've been looking and looking and looking. Hopefully I'll be able to find it by Christmas. I also want these Christian Dior sneakers. Well, I've been wanting them for years and years and years. They just stopped making them. So I'm just waiting for them to, like, somebody to resell a pair, or for them to be like the refurbished kind, or for them to remake them. But It's this guy I follow on YouTube, and he has a pair, and he always like puts them on, and he be out. I'm like, you just trying to flash. So there's those sneakers. And then Eli, my dog, yeah, Eli has a wish list. So on Eli's wish list is the new, all the rave now for dogs is the dog cave. And this little thing is so fucking cute. And so it's like literally, it looked like a big ad. It looked like one of these. It looked like a house shoe that they just slide in and sleep in, and they can just, get in there and love it all day. And so I saw the commercial for it, and then I was on a Zoom call with someone, and I saw their dog in it, and I said, well, what is your dog doing? And she had threw treats in the back of the cave, and he was just in there digging, and apparently it's cozy for them to be in there. So I really want to get him that, and so that's going to be on his gift. It's crazy because it goes for like $169, and I'm like, damn, you can go to Petco, you know what I'm saying, get you a couple throws, make you one for like a little less than 40. And if you're really trying to be on the cheap, you can get you a couple of fucking pillows and a laundry bag, throw that pillow in the back, or hold that bitch up and let him run in there. If you really, but I'm gonna get my baby an actual dog cave. All right, so we done got through day 3. Day 4, which was my Christmas wish list. Day 5. So day 5, when I realized that Santa wasn't real, baby, I had to be like 7 or 8, and me and my brothers, it's 4 of us, and we were all asleep Christmas Eve, going into Christmas, and there was no gifts under the Christmas tree. There was nothing like that. And we all, we looking like, what the freak? What's going on? And so that night I saw my mom come into the room. And, mind you, I had already been skeptical about Santa. Like, I don't know what made me always have this premonition about Santa not being real. I think it was from me realizing the Tooth Fairy wasn't real when I saw my aunt putting $20 under my pillow. And I was like, yeah, I knew that. I knew, because I really wanted to believe that I was going to catch somebody. No, I saw her and I knew it from there. So, okay, they be lying. So, this was when Power Rangers was out, and everybody had the Power Ranger house shoes that came all the way up with the stick out toy on the tip. So my mom put, a red pair on my bed. I think my other brother, Darrell, had blue, a green, and a yellow pair, and we all had them on our bed. I saw her come put them on the bed. And so I'm like, shit, they were knocked out. Now I was up, I was laid on my side, and I saw her do this, and then she left the room and left the door open, by the way. And she went back downstairs, and then eventually she came upstairs and went in her room. So I snuck downstairs, and that's when I saw the tree, the stuff under the tree. And you know how some people put the white cotton down to make it like it's snow under the tree. I saw that. I saw the toys, the boxes, the gifts under the tree. I was mad fucking excited. So then I laid down. So then in my mind, I'm like, okay, I didn't see Santa do that. I know my mom did that. So I went to bed. I went and got back in my bed, and I waited for my brothers to wake up. And they woke up, and everybody racing downstairs. They run downstairs, and I'm just like, wow. At that moment, that's when I really knew that it wasn't a Santa, because me seeing them be excited about not even just the fact that it just was there, and they didn't know how it got there. I was like, oh, okay. Santa's not real. I never said nothing to them, but I know, and I never said nothing to my mom, but I saw her. I saw the fact that I saw her go and make this shit happen. It's funny because now as I'm older and I'm with my cousin and she has kids, there's plenty of times where, when they were younger and, because I know they obviously don't believe in Santa now, but when they were younger and they believed in Santa, it's just so funny how nothing would be under the tree, and then the night, we go put a lot of shit under the tree, and they're like, Santa, 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 and it's like, I had that same thought until I snuck and saw it, and it ain't Santa. So that was how I found out. I saw my mom actually, come back upstairs from being downstairs. And I'm like, if she's upstairs, I was very intuitive, very intuitive. I knew it was no Santa. I already knew it wasn't a Santa because I had watched too many movies, and all the movies led me to believe that Santa was fictitious. There was no Santa. So that was the moment I really realized, like, oh, okay, it's validated. But I never really shared it with my brothers because I didn't think it was a point. I felt like everybody was gonna catch Santa. And I told you guys on day 6, decorate with me. I haven't even put my tree up yet, so I'm gonna probably do my tree and do a decorating of that on Sunday. And for me, it's not even about just decorating the tree. It's about setting the entire mood, the entire ambience. So you're gonna have some Christmas music playing. You're gonna have a little bit of trays of like refreshments. You're gonna have either some coffee or cocoa. And I might even on the TV screen have a fireplace going or have the fireplace sound effects. And pull the tree out in the middle of the floor, you decorate it, and I might cut the camera on for that. But for me, it's always about the spirit of the holidays. Day 7, my worst Christmas experience. Well, I really, all of my Christmas experiences have been around family. Like, I really have never not been with family for Christmas, except for one time, and that was my worst Christmas experience. So, in 2007, I decided, because I had pledged. So now I'm an alpha on campus. I'm a Illinois Board of Higher Education rep in student government. I'm an RA in the dorms. I know general counsel on campus. Y'all can't mess with me. So at that time, I'm just feeling myself like, oh, I'm running it, blah, blah, blah. So the opportunity came up for, who's going to stay as an RA over the Christmas break for some of our international students. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do it because of my best friend, which, at the time, Nicole, she was an RA as well. And so she was gonna be there too. It was so isolated. I mean, her and I went to go over a couple of folks' house, but when I came back to the dorm, it was so isolated. There was nobody there. There was literally nobody on campus. And it was for the first time ever I realized that I didn't have family. Like, I had no family in Chicago. So the little comforts that you would typically like I love my grandmother's and my family's sweet potato pie. It wasn't the same. I love to eat and then sit on the couch, watch a movie, fat ass, and just chill out. It wasn't the same. It was just like going back to my dorm room. I was very lonely. And at that point in my life, I never experienced that kind of loneliness. So it was like, oh, I'm never doing this shit again. Like, okay, we're not doing this. So yeah, that was like the worst Christmas experience I ever had. There was no exchange of really gifts. For me, there was really nothing. No, I didn't really get any gifts during that time frame. And I had expected that like there would be a meal or something like a Christmas meal. There was no Christmas meal. I think that was part of it as well. Um, that was a really bad Christmas. And then I was there for New Year's, and that was fun. We turned up for New Year's, but that was a lonely and isolated Christmas. Even the frat and the friends that I did have, it was different because everybody would go back to their house with their family on Christmas Day, and here I am going back to the dorms. Ever since that year, I made it my duty to put myself in a place where the spirit of Christmas or the spirit of family, the spirit of giving was. Because I realized, it might not be family, but still, if it's not family, I'd like the alternative to be, at least we're singing some damn songs or we're sitting around having drinks and stuff and talking. So for me, that's what Christmas is about. It's just really just fellowshipping and rekindling your time with your family. And I didn't get any of that. Like, it was horrible. And I remember the dorm room that I had, at the time, it was just so stupid because you couldn't even stay in the shower for a long period of time because the water would go cold very, very fast. And that had a whole issue with the damn molded bathrooms. And he had a whole issue about that in the dorm. So yeah, that was my worst Christmas ever, experience ever. Outside of that, I've enjoyed all my Christmas times. I've enjoyed it. This upcoming Christmas, I can't wait to go back home, and be around, my little cousin nephews, be around my cousin, be around my aunt. I got her some stuff for Christmas. Um, see some old friends and some old flames. So yeah, I can't wait for that. So yeah, I'll never, even when I'm married and family, got my own family, I always want to make sure Christmas is a time where we're together. And day 8, what I would tell kids about Christmas. The first thing I would tell kids about Christmas is that um Christmas should be about what they can do for someone else. Um, because if you think about Christmas being about what you can do for someone else, you'd understand why somebody else is doing something for you. So it just makes that cycle of giving, go all the way around twofold. I think it's important for kids to know that, besides just spending money or going to the stores, there's other things that they can do for people to show that they appreciate them, their moms, their dads, their teachers, whether it's chores, whether it's just simply saying, thank you, mom, I really appreciate the love and support you've given me this year. Whether it's raking the leaves, we used to do that in my household. We used to go outside, rake the leaves, cut the grass, do all the yard work, stuff like that. I actually came to a point where I enjoyed it. Um, not only for the exercise, but we was competing with the other folks in the neighborhood. So I was trying to help keep the yard looking good too. So yeah, I think I would tell kids that it's important for you to have that instilled in you. What can I do for someone else on, Christmas? Because as you grow older and get out into the world, you'll realize that the need is a lot stronger than what you need for Christmas. You know, people out here, you know, need jackets because it's freezing cold outside. There are families, right now, I've adopted a family, a mother and a daughter for Christmas. And I've gotten their Christmas wish list. I had a chance to meet them last Friday. And I'm going to talk about this in a whole nother live. So yeah, blah, 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 blah. But that's what I would tell kids. You need to volunteer. You need to do something for somebody else. Do something for another organization. Say, hey, mom, I want to volunteer this week. I want to do something because that will make whatever you receive that much worth it. We always have to have that level of community service at the forefront of things that we do all the time, because there's going to be a point where you're going to be the community and you're going to need the service. So if you're not helping your community, even at a young age, when your turn comes around, you ain't gonna have that good favor. I always believe wherever I move to, you give back to that community. I immediately moved here, started giving back. Saturdays from 9 to 11, I'm at the Maryland Food Bank helping pack 100 boxes to deliver throughout the state of Maryland. So I think it's important for people, not just kids, but for people to know that Christmas, at least find one thing you can do for someone you don't know. I'm not talking about your mom. I'm talking about somebody who has a genuine need. You have the resources to do something for them. Do it. Just see how your heart feels. See what that does for you. It could be like what I do when it's hot in the summertime. I go and get cases of water, freeze them, and I literally, when I'm walking my dog, I have my bag with me. I'm giving cases of water out to the homeless. I see them. You want some water? You want some water? You want some water? When I drop my dog off the daycare, I'm always, I get them a coffee traveler, some from Starbucks. Just, I know, why? Because I know that me putting that good favor out there, they're going to treat my dog with the best care ever. In fact, they do. Like, he's the fucking prince of where he goes. um, so yeah, I would say start instilling that in your children now. Kids, start learning that that's a guiding principle, and you'll forever always have good favor. Um, do the work, be appreciative, have gratitude, um, So that's what I would tell kids about Christmas. And, you know, as you go on, you know, because in high school, it was, what are we buying each other and my friends? And we had to spend who could spend the most money and blah, blah. No, I wish somebody would have told me that. No, it's not about that at all. If you feel like you're spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on your friends for Christmas, um, and it's not within reason, that's not what you should be doing. And your friends shouldn't be expecting that as well. You know, I'm at a point now where it's like, I don't expect people to be spending hella money on me for Christmas. Hell no. Um, Nor do I expect somebody for me to be spending hella money on somebody for Christmas and it's not within reason. Now, if you're my significant other and I want to get you something, that's a different thing. That's within reason. But if, you know, you are a friend of mine and you want a new car and I go, I'm not going to get you a new car. That's well out of reason. I hope you don't even be asking me no shit like that. So um that's really what I would tell kids for Christmas. Like, really think about what you could do for others. There we have it. You know, I got caught up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, I knew that I was far behind, but I always knew that I was going to catch up with the Vlogmas. It's something I committed to, and I want to extend a sincere apology to my fellow participants who are also doing Vlogmas. And I don't want to say everyone's name because I feel like if I miss someone, then how rude of you. But all of you all, you know who you all are. You all are doing an amazing job. You're holding it down. You're standing fast to your commitment. You said you were going to do it, and you're doing it. And here, little old me, trailing on and behind. So continue being that great role model, setting an example not only for me but for other people, because I'm watching y'all and I see y'all putting the work out daily. And I know everybody got shit they doing in their lives. Everybody has stuff they're doing in their lives. So there's no reason for me to feel like I can't hold up my end of the deal because I'm either busier or I have, you know, things that are competing with that time frame. So I'm gonna continue sticking to my honor and my word and putting out my Vlogmas. So we will get to tonight. Tomorrow we will do December 9th. And let's see, what is the 9th? The 9th is my favorite Christmas scent. But it's so funny because my favorite Christmas scent, I drink it in coffee. Ain't that some shit? I drink my favorite Christmas scent. From coffee. Yep. So that'll be an interesting topic to talk about. So check that out. I'll be uploading that. And I'll also be uploading Decorate With Me after I put it together over this weekend. Until next time, keep sitting.